Good afternoon, gentlemen. Seems I'm back again with another bit of a martial rant. Uh, Most of the time when I come up with these rants, it's usually I've been scrolling past something and I see something I don't like, or I think stupid, and I'm just going to comment on it to get it off my chest. So, what did I come across today that's made me have a bit of a rant or a bit of a thought on? The double-handed choke. Double-handed choke. You know which I'm talking about. Some people call it the rape choke. You know, the... Uh, anytime I see a video on it, especially a self-defense one, the way they deal with it is the most impractical way you could possibly deal with it. Which also, it kind of makes me laugh a bit, because anyone who's ever done any bit of grappling is kind of looks at a choke like that and sees it's probably one of the worst chokes you can do to someone, because it's probably one of the easiest to actually escape. But I don't know, every self-defense class I've seen or been to seems to either want to reinvent the wheel with it, or just do some very bizarro things. Here's the thing as well, whenever I go to a self-defense class, or I've been to one in the past, or some other martial art decides, bugger it, we're going to teach a self-defense portion of this, all logic and sense seems to jump out the window, because they think, well, we've got an hour free reign to do dirty moves and illegal moves. So they'll throw sense out the window just to say, well, go for the eyes or need the bollocks. But half the time when they're suggesting this stuff, you're not set up to do it. So it's not going to help anything anyway. But back to it, and I think a lot of the problems with this comes from the fact that whenever they're doing this, demonstrating this choke in a martial arts class or a self-defense class, is no one wants to be honest. And by that I mean is the person that's doing the move doesn't want to, or teaching the class doesn't want to be honest about what the experience is actually going to be like, because you probably lose students because no one wants to do that. No one wants to be on the other side of it. Because whenever you're demonstrating it, yeah, let me do this in my very, very small study slash place I paint my Warhammer stuff in. Right. So let me go on the side on here, right? Let's do it from a side view, right? You're going to do this choke. Whenever I see it in like a martial arts class or a self-defense class, they have the hands out wide like this, and it's right now like that. Yeah. And the stood stock still. Now, to be quite honest, you don't even need to go for any sort of eyeballs to get out of that. One, you're not going to do it anyway, because if someone's got their hands around your throat, you're going to be more focused on getting something off you. But you don't even need that, because anyone who's ever done any grappling or done any Thai boxing is just going to see that as this. A really crap clinch, which leaves all of that. And again, anyone who's grappled knows that if you've got a gap there, you go an escape route. So all you're going to do for that is just to swim your arm underneath and just get a single. You get a single collar tie and then just pull this arm down. I guarantee you, he ain't going to carry on choking you, because he won't be able to. You've built a frame. You're framed against it. So you're out of it anyway. But that's kind of by the by, because no one was actually going to pull you like that. And I get the same for, well, why don't you knee him in the balls? But one, if he's got you like this, you're not reaching. But two, even if you try and pull him through to do that, he's not going to let you do that. That's the thing, because you're being compliant and you see, oh, well, if someone's going to let me do it, like you see in many self-defense classes, you can come up with all sorts of bizarre ways if someone's just going to stand there and let you do it. You know, I've seen people go discombobulate, you know, the old Sherlock Holmes technique. You're not going to think to do that, trust me on this. But anyway, back to my point. The reason why I think they're not going to be honest with you is because someone is not going to grab your neck like this. If they are going to, right? They simply ain't. What they're going to do is they're going to grab your neck like that, and then they're going to just immediately go and drag you to ground, or straight against something. If someone's wanting to choke you out, he is not going to stand stock still choking you like this. He is going to be doing it with some force. He's going to be running at you, grabbing you, and checking you around, pulling you all over the shop, trying to get you. Because if you're going for that kind of choke, one, you don't know how martial arts because it's a choke no one who actually knows how to choke someone out is going to use because it's crap. It's literally just a rage choke. But if you are going to use that, you're going to have some venom to you, aren't you? You're going to be angry. So big time is grab you and pull you and rag you about. You're not going to be able to think about kneeing someone in balls. He's not even going to be in a position to do so because you know his ground's going to keep moving. What an image. And as for poking someone in the eye, you're getting ragged all over the place. You're not going to get a chance to grab someone in the eye. And if you do grab someone in the eye, I guarantee you're going to be unconscious before he lets you go. People, you don't just like poke someone in the eye and go, ah, ah. No, you'll probably just whether it hurts, but I've got you in a choke. I'll just wait until you're unconscious, then I'll worry about my eyes. Yeah, doesn't happen. As I say, I think this is a problem with a lot of self-defense classes I've been to, and I think it's worldwide as well. Is the dishonesty, and I don't think they're doing it intentionally. I don't think they're like trying to con you in such a way. I think they're being sincere about it, but I think that very few places are going to let you train self-defense where someone's being honest about how they're actually going to go at you. Because you just lose students. No one wants to be underneath that. You get PTSD from it. It's the same when I was doing Krav Maga. I was learning Krav Maga at a place. And first thing I did, I got grouped up with a partner. He pulled some like punch pads out. He says, right, we're going to learn to punch. Alright, you know, whenever I go to another martial arts class they haven't been to before in that style, all the rest of my stuff kind of does go a bit like, you know, this is your style, it's new, I'll stick with you. So, okay. So, but anyway, natural instinct came up, he pulled his pads out, I dropped straight into like a boxing guard, and he's like, no, you don't, we don't do that here. You need to stand stock still, squared on, with your arms like this. Oh, why? He says, because if someone were coming at you to fight, you won't be in your fighting stance. I think you find I would. I think I find I would. You'd be very surprised, mate. If someone was coming at me, and I could see him coming and he's angry and he looks like he's coming to fight, first thing I'm doing is going like this. I'm gonna be ready to throw a punch. I'm immediately gonna, drop into a stance. I might not be like this, but I'm gonna drop into my stance. My foot's gonna go back, so I'm poised, ready to strike someone. I might not have my hands up like this. I might have it like this, but not just stood like a. I probably just keep my hands up like that, just kind of like, hey, what's happening, pal? Because if someone's coming at you with that kind of venom, the punch is coming. The punch is coming, you're going to be ready for it. But yeah, you get a lot of that. And also how people strike you and something like that is dishonest because there's no venom behind it. So you're not getting the full experience, in my opinion. Not that you want the full experience of being in a proper fight, but if you're learning to defend against something, you need to be honest and defend against what it's actually going to be. And just standing still with someone being very gentle with you, very compliant with you, throwing very slow poxy punches that you defend and do about a 4-hit combo, which is what I got out of it. Go for the balls. You're not going to learn anything. It's same with knives. Say I'm taking off this. Initially, this was the choke thing, but I'm taking off it. Right, I'm going to have a bit of a rant about self-defense altogether. It's same with knives. Most of the people teaching you how to defend against a knife has never had a knife swung at them, by someone who actually wants to stab them. They have the Hollywood idea of what a knife fight looks like. Because it's always like this big overhand swing or this big lunge there. People that get stabbed usually don't see the knife even there until it's too late, because no one's going to run at you like fucking Michael Myers with a knife like this. Because you just simply kick the guy. Normally they get it close enough. But no, the way they teach it is, mate, this is a knife. So you don't want to be guessing and hoping for the best with a knife, my friend. And yeah, I get it. They say, well, if I'm a last resort, it's better than nothing. You know what? I don't think it is. I think you might be better off not knowing nothing, because I think at that point you're not going to do something stupid. You're going to pull the confidence straight out of you. And let's be real, like, even if you got it down to a T, of like taking a knife off someone while they're swinging it at you, if you got it down to a T, you're still gonna have that thought in your head that that's a rubber knife. I've got all the confidence in the world of taking a rubber knife off someone. That becomes a real blade. I'm sure that confidence will jump straight out in you. Oh, even baseball bats, the same. It's always this. It's just too compliant. It's using very, very predictable patterns, and a fight's unpredictable. So let's think. How would be the best way to learn self-defense be? Or at least self-defense against a fight. I mean, the best way to learn self-defense is to learn how to just simply not get in them. You know, surrounding training, all that stuff, like looking around, making sure there's not going to happen, and being able to look at somebody's body language and think it's about to kick off, or even just being able to talk someone down. That's the easiest way. You knock somebody's pint over, or someone knocks your pint over, rather than going, just, alright, calm down. Sorry about that, pal. What you drinking? I'll buy you another drink. Easy. Got out of that situation altogether, and you only lost about a fiver. Well, actually, in Barnsley, you look at about £3. Depends where you are. London, you're probably looking at a fiver. But as far as actual defending against an actual attack in the streets, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm watching that Ultimate Self-Defense video a good long while back, and I sort of had a decent idea about it. Although the problem with that was they gamified it, and the second you gamify things, you've got to have rules and. Oh god, I'm talking about there are no rules on Street Fight. Bullshit. But they gamified it, so it's a bit hard to really take from it. But yeah, I think if you're to be honest, you'd have a guy in there, and you'd have a guy in there who knows nothing about martial arts. Yeah, if I were teaching self-defense outside of it, I'd have a guy in there with no martial arts training whatsoever, and he's gonna have some big 16-ounce gloves. Yeah, because you've got to keep people safe regardless, haven't you? He's got some big 16-ounce gloves. You've got a decent amount of armour on you, right? Because what he's going to do is basically just tell him to attack you. Learn some stuff, right? Do your drill work, because I understand with drill work you've got to have some level of compliance to do the drill work, but you need to test it. So how do you test it? You get someone who knows nothing about martial arts. And my reasoning for saying that is, if he knows about martial arts, he's going to have a bias to his movements. He's going to fight you like a martial artist, and you're not. More often than not, you're not going to get in a fight with a martial artist in Millet Street. You're going to go up against somebody who knows nothing about scrapping. So you need to account for that. So you get someone who knows not about it. He hasn't been shown how to swing a bat. He hasn't been shown how to swing a knife. He hasn't been shown how to throw a punch. You throw him in there. You put him some armour on. You put him some gloves on. You either give him a knife, like a rubber knife, not a real one, or a long rod, and then you get your other bloke or woman who's training this, and go, right, in about, when I hit the whistle, this boxer's going to attack you. Get out of it. You got a minute of this, or two. And I think that'd be the more honest thing, because you're going to have to now deal with the unpredictability of a proper scrap. Yeah? You have to deal with someone actually throwing punches at you. Wild punches, and he's not going to be throwing jabs, he's not going to be throwing crosses. You're not going to be able to just duck and dive like you would with anything else. Yeah, catching the stick thing. He's not going to be doing it in this very predictable pattern. He'll just swing it however he's going to swing it. And I think even if you can't disarm that guy at that point, I think it'll give you at least some sort of like realistic expectation of how it's actually going to go down. Yeah, because that is my bugbear as well when I see self-defense videos, is that the guy they put him up against is another martial artist, and martial artists have their own way of doing things. You know, we have his own bias. You get a guy who's got boxing training, you throw him in there, even if you tell him just to be wild and unpredictable, he's not going to be able to help it because he only knows that. You know, that's his go-to. He's going to be boxing you. You get a guy with a catch wrestling background or a jiu-jitsu background, he's going to take you to the ground because that's all he knows. You know what I'm saying? Because that's his bias. If you're going to train for self-defense against people on the streets or people with weapons, you need to be training against somebody who hasn't got that, who's just going to go on his own natural instincts. And yeah, you don't want just the one guy as well. You want a few. You want a few different like test subjects, I guess. You need a few of these guys because one person's going to be more unpredictable than the other. So you don't want to go right against person letter A, person A, right? Oh, I managed to actually figure out how he swings, and I got the weapon off of him. Great. I figured out how he punches, but I managed to defend myself from him. Great. No worries. But person letter B, is likely going to fight a whole lot different to him. I understand, right? Bear in mind, as I said before, this will never work because no one's ever going to sign up for it except for lunatics like myself who don't need the help. Right, but let's play this hypothetical, right? I won't even let person A see person B. Yeah, keep them like in a locked closed door or something like that. Then I'll get person B into that same person and go, right, try it on this guy. And you got to deal with that unpredictability again. Because person B ain't going to fight like person A is. He's just going to do whatever's natural to him. And as I said, you might even figure it out. You might even like reverse engineer a technique to actually properly disarm a fella or defend against someone who's throwing swings at you. And even if you don't, at least now you've got a realistic idea of how it's going to go down. You're not haven't got that very predictable pattern going on. What else could we do in this like hypothetical? What else can we do? I mean, once you've done that, for all three of them in. Make it a free for all. So you throw all three in and it's just little old you, and now it's like, right, defend yourself. You even put some like foam weapons about the place. You know, so you can like go, right, I'm now in my surroundings, right? No one's told us what to do at this point. There's no guidance. You've already done your drill work. This is the testing part of it. So all I've got is a room full of rubber shit, some stuff to keep them at bay, and that's it. See how it works. See how it goes on. That's the honesty, in my eyes. That's martial arts being honest. I don't think you can really teach self-defense and keep it safe. And the problem is, the safety part is what people are paying for. If that makes sense. The people that do a lot of these self-defense classes aren't the kind of people you're going to see in a boxing class or a MMA class or a kickboxing class. Trust me, I've been in them. You might get the odd outlier. You might get the odd me in there. But mostly it's just people that, you know, they do this 2 days a week just to get out and maybe get a bit of confidence in them. So you haven't got killer instinct in there anyway. And as I said, they need that safety. You couldn't just, in most of them, you couldn't just do this. Because if they were going to do this hard as nails, sink or swims kind of training, they won't be in a self-defense class. They'd be in an MMA gym. They'd be in a full contact kickboxing gym or a boxing gym, or doing wrestling or jiu-jitsu. They'd be doing that. That'd be that kind of guy. The people that go into these want, I'm almost going to say, they want to have their cake and eat it, which probably isn't far off the truth. They want to be able to defend themselves and feel safe on the street in case of that rare occasion where you get attacked, which is pretty damn rare. They want to learn this stuff without having to deal with actual pain or actual, danger. So, trying to introduce this, it'd be folly anyway. A lot of their self-defense classes, they're pure self-defense classes. I'm not talking about like a karate place that's done a bit of self-defense training with it, or the taekwondo place. I've been to them, and they tend to fare a lot better because they've actually got, people there who know how to punch and kick. But a lot of the pure ones, they don't even teach you how to throw a punch or a kick. A lot of them don't. It's probably why they get so much crap on the internet when you look at the videos and you see people just using some very, very odd techniques, because they don't really teach you how to throw a punch or a kick. In fact, a lot of the places I went to, they seem to be a bit embarrassed about the idea that it's a martial art. They're almost hostile to that idea. Like, I remember, like I said, I went into a Krav Maga gym. I'm sat there, and the fellow who was teaching the class made it very, very, very damn clear that this isn't a martial art. We don't do martial arts here. We don't train martial arts. We train to fight for the street. We don't have the luxury that martial artists do of rules. So when it came to like learning how to throw a punch, like, no, we don't learn that, because this isn't a martial art. Great, you got a bunch of lads here who want an unearned sense of ego, a load of like really dopey drills they've learnt, and none of them know how to throw a punch correctly. They don't even know how to hold pads correctly. Shit. The fellow that held pads for me, like when you hold boxing pads up, his arms are like this, so I'm fighting Lenny and Mo. And it's like, I would like same hand to same hand, so my left for left and my right for right, not like crossing over like that. And I was like trying to say to the guy, fetch him a bit closer, because if I'm punching at you, I'm going to punch here. I'm not going to punch the guys at the side of you. Asked him to hold it for a hook, and it's all we are to you. Some of the worst padding I've ever seen. Can you hold it about here, mate? That's where your face is more or less going to be. I need it about here, so I can actually, throw a hook and not. Uppercuts the same. Guys hold uppercuts for up here. Who the fuck am I hitting up here? I'm not being funny, right, pal, but if I have to punch up there to give a guy an uppercut, I'm just leaving the fight altogether. That might be a little tool tip for anybody who like holds pads, right? If you're holding pads, try and hold them for where someone's realistically going to punch and kick. Now, obviously, you can't hold it smack on your face, because you've got to have some sort of protection there as well, but hold them here, or here, or here. Someone's going to throw an uppercut at me. He's going to be aiming for this little sweet thing here, so have your pad there. Someone's going to throw a hook, have it roughly about here. So then when they throw the hook, they're going to be realistically tight with that hook. Obviously, you've got to have some sort of leeway. I mean, when you're throwing a kick to the face, you might have to have like the pads out here and the pads out there. Or sometimes you have it like that. Saying that, I've done that. But be realistic with it. Try and get it for where the hit's going to be. But yeah, when I went there, really bad pad work. They seem to be ashamed of the idea of like it being considered a martial art, which for one, it is. It's a martial art. Even if you don't compete in anything, it's still a martial art. You're really stretching it by saying it isn't. And two, why would you be ashamed of that? Why would you be ashamed of actually trying to teach people to throw a punch and throw a kick, rather than doing these set drills with very little context? And adding to my rant here about the drills, again, as I was saying at the beginning of the video of my little rant here, they they're very focused on the idea of kicking the balls or punch or poking the eyes. So you do a drill, like this, right? This guy's gonna throw his punch here, like an idiot, and then do a combo. So I'd block or whatever, or slap it, swipe it out the way with my hand, and then I might do a throw, punch, and then load up with a head kick, and then I get, no, this is Krav Maga. You need to be kicking balls. Yeah, but I'm not in a position to. The head's open. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, but this. There's no rules here. This is for the street. You need to be kicking. And I get that, mate. But in order for me to now kick him in the balls, I need to now move off and then aim it there to throw the kick. By the time I've done that, he's probably already moved or shifted or the situation's changed. This were a nice clean combo and the leg kick were open or the head were open for the kick. No, this is Krav Maga. We go for the. You're obsessed with it to the point that it's detrimental to the actual defense, the combo, the defense. Don't throw kicks in the street fight type stuff. Listen, if it's open, it's open. If it's open, it's open. If it works on a kickboxer, it's going to work on a yob. Sure, don't bet that your first thing to do, like, but if you throw a combo and there's a kick there, just bloody do it. Don't overthink it. These things are overthought. Don't overthink it. Kick were open, eat him. Don't be sat there like wondering, throw a jab across, I've got him on the back foot. Best not throw that kick though. But some guy says I shouldn't be throwing kicks in a street fight, so I'll have to reset myself and just, it's there, throw it. Stop listening to idiots like me online. Stop overthinking it. Right, anyway, I've gone on my rant for long enough. Initially it started about the double-handed choke, and now it's gone about self-defence and crap and all that. Yeah. Actual self-defence can't be taught. I don't think so. You never get a class for it unless you're inviting lunatics like me, and lunatics like me probably don't need a self-defence class. Anyways, see you later.